So you've got a day in Sydney and you're wondering how to make best use of that day. Well, don't worry, here's my guide on how to spend 24 hours in this great city. Now, when you think of Australia, there are two places that come to the top of most people's minds, and that is the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Sydney Opera House. In case you didn't realise, the Harbour Bridge is right there, and if I pan to the right slightly, there's the Opera House, and that's why coming to the Circular Quay region is the best place to start off any trip to Sydney. There are so many seagulls around here, feels like I'm back in Brighton Beach or something. So I've come up a bit closer to the Opera House, and Australians, please don't be offended, but I can't lie, when you see like videos or like the Opera House on TV, or you see like photos of it, it seems like a really big, massive, iconic building. But in person, it's not all that, if I'm being really honest. Like, it seems a lot smaller. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's really nicely designed and it's unique, but I don't know, just in person, it doesn't seem like all that. Unfortunately, it started to rain. I'm here in Sydney in the middle of May, which I believe is the start of their winter season, or very close to the start of it. So that means the weather here isn't the typical Australian weather that you guys probably know about. So it's not really hot, it's not lots of sun, but it's not too bad. Here in Sydney, it's currently about 18, 19 degrees, which is sort of the perfect temperature for me. It's not too cold, it's not too warm. Whilst I'm here outside the Opera House, if you want to be the ultimate tourist, you can like go into the Opera House for an event. You can also climb the Harbour Bridge. I have no idea how much it costs, but I can't imagine it's cheap. So we're not going to do that today. Instead, next to the Opera House is the Royal Botanic Gardens, which is why I recommend you guys visit next. Now, one of the things Australia is most well known for is its unique wildlife. And here is Exhibit A. I have no idea what this is, but it looks so cool, especially with its long beak. Quite nice and peaceful to walk around here, though I suspect in the summer it'll be a lot more packed. Whilst I'm here, let me talk to you about how it's best to get around this city. So Sydney has a really extensive public transport network, which includes buses, trams, trains, and even ferries to get across the harbour. And the best thing is, it's really straightforward to use. You don't need like a specific ticket. So you have two options. You can either get something called an Opal card, which is like a card that you load up with money and then it charges you every time you use a bit of transport. Or, as a tourist, what's better is that you can just use contactless card to just tap in and out every time you use public transport here, and then it just works out how much you've used throughout the day. And there's a daily cap as well, so you can use public transport as much as you want throughout the day, and the maximum it will charge you is either $9 Australian on the weekends or 18 Australian dollars on any other day. I should add, those costs are reflective of when I'm filming this video. It could be different when you're here. I've spent a decent amount of time here. Now it's time to go to another one of Sydney's iconic landmarks. It's taken a bit longer than I originally planned, but we've finally made it into the suburbs of Sydney, just a short walk away from the final destination. We have made it to the location. Any ideas where we are? This is Bondi Beach, probably one of the most famous beaches in the world. It's known for its iconic surfs, as well as its golden sand beach. Now, given the time of year I'm here in Bondi Beach, it's actually not too busy. It's the middle of May. It's about 19 degrees, which in the UK, it would be considered a heat wave. But here in Australia, it's very mild. But in the summer months, where it gets well upwards of about 30 degrees, I can imagine it be very, very packed. So there are other beaches here in Sydney you can visit. There's Manly Beach, Coogee Beach, or Coogee Beach, I think that's how it's pronounced. There's also Bonte Beach and a few other smaller beaches. So if you do come to Sydney, especially in the warmer months, you have to visit one of the beaches. Now that I'm closer to the beach, I can see why it's so popular. It does look very pretty. As much as I would like to get onto the sand, I don't bring any spare shoes, so I don't want to get sand everywhere. There's also a nice walkway here that you can walk down. There's also a lot of people running, which I would love to do, but tomorrow I'm planning to do park run, so I'm going to rest my legs today. Obviously, you could easily spend your whole day here, but for the purposes of this guide, I'm going to keep it moving. Behind me, you can see there's some rocks. Apparently, there's a nice walk from here in Bondi Beach to Coogee Beach, which is about, I think, 2 hours long. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I'm going to walk a bit of it, and then we'll head back towards the centre of Sydney. Also, on the note of the centre of Sydney, Bondi Beach took about 45 minutes to get to via public transport from the centre, so that probably adds to why it's so popular. So the path continues all the way over there, but it's starting to get a bit dark. So for the next part of this guide, I'm going to head back into the centre of Sydney. Now I've gone away from Bondi a bit, so for a slight change in direction, I'm going to use a line bike to get back to the city centre. We've made it back into the centre of Sydney. I actually cheated slightly. I didn't cycle the whole way back. I cycled to the nearest train station and just got the train back. As you can see, it's 5:45 and night has fallen. I guess that's that time of the year. Anyway, we're a short walk away from the final destination of this video. On an unrelated point, look how beautiful the bridge looks at night time. It's lit up so nicely, and you can sort of see why they use this bridge as the scene for all the firework displays here at New Year's Eve. So you've spent a long day exploring Sydney. Now you just want to sit somewhere and relax at evening. That's why you should come to The Rocks. So this is The Rocks. It's a vibrant, historic neighbourhood right in the heart of Sydney, just by the bridge. It's like the perfect place to wind down and end your day. As you can see, there's loads of restaurants. There's also loads of events often happening, like live music and so on. Every weekend they also have a market here, so it's well worth visiting. So we've almost got to the end of this guide here in Sydney. Obviously, there's a few things I haven't talked about in terms of like activities you can do. So you can get boat tours across Sydney Harbour. You could go to Luna Park, which is like a really popular amusement park. It's actually on the opposite side of the harbour to The Rocks. And finally, if you're into your sports, there's loads of sports events here in the city that you can go and watch. Well, depending on the time of the year it is. So there's obviously cricket, football, the real football. There's also something called Aussie football, which is a very popular sport here in Australia. I've watched it on TV like once or twice, but I have no idea what the sport is about. There's also rugby, league and union, as well as plenty of other sports. Anyway, I'm going to sign out of the video here and I'm going to go and grab some dinner from somewhere in The Rocks. Hopefully you enjoyed this guide on how to spend 24 hours here in Sydney. It's a beautiful city, and if you come to Australia, I highly recommend you guys visit. As always, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.